Last month, August 3rd, we sadly heard the news that Bram Moolenaar, the BDFL of Vim, passed away. Now, Vim being such a massive project with users basically across the entire world, there was pretty much a 0% chance the project was going away. But it was sort of unclear the state the project was going to be in going forward, because unlike someone like Linus Torvald, for example, who nowadays is in more of a managerial maintainership position with most of the development work being done by completely separate people, Bram was still very much active developing the Vim project. Now that we're closing in on 2 months after the fact, I thought it was about time to check in on the project and just see what state it's in today. And looking at the GitHub, at least at a surface level, if you told me that Vim never had a BDFL and this is the way the project was always being developed, I would believe you, because there hasn't really been any reasonable disruption since then. Yeah, in the couple of days after, but at this stage, it's just being developed like any other sort of project. But there is a lot more to the story than just that. Thankfully, for a very, very long time now, Vim has not been on Bram's personal GitHub account. Instead, it has been in a Vim organization, along with other maintainers. This is the big thing. It would be one thing if it was just in a separate organization, but the fact that other people were trusted enough by Bram to have the ability to merge code directly into the codebase is such an important thing. Because of this, there was no fiddling around with getting ownership from GitHub. There were people that already had ownership of the repo. I'm sure all of these people have done great work in the Vim project over the years, but right now, there are two members who are most notable, those being Kay Takata and more so, Christian Brabant. This is who I want to mainly focus on today. You may not know the name Christian Brabant, but if you've used Vim, you probably recognize one of his tools, Vim Airline. Whilst both Christian and Kay are very active in the project, at this stage, Christian has pretty much taken on the role of primary Vim maintainer. This can be seen very quickly just scrolling through the list of commits. Most things in here, if they are not authored by Chris, are committed by Chris. With that being said, I don't want to discredit any of the work that anybody else here is doing. All of these people here are the reason why Vim can keep going. Yes, Christian is doing a lot of really important work, but a lot of this work is being developed by other people, and all of these people are the reason why Vim can keep going. Without these people, the Vim project would basically just collapse. One thing that has kind of surprised me is the development model of Vim basically hasn't changed. What I mean by this is pretty much every single commit, with the exception of these runtime changes, is marked as patch 9.0.1943, previous one 1942, one before that 1941, so on and so forth. And if we look at the number of tagged releases, 16,484. So Vim, unlike most projects out there, where it has a set stable release. This is 1.0. This is 1.1. This is 3.0. This is 9.0. Vim fairly rarely does these new stable releases. Instead, every single new patch is sort of marked as a new release. This is a weird model. I don't understand why it is done like this, but it's the way that Bram has pretty much always done it. And I guess the reason why they kept doing it is if it's not broke, don't fix it. This is a system that has pretty much always been what Vim does. So rather than trying to work out, oh, what are we going to do now? We're going to use this numbering method or that numbering method. Maybe we make our own method. Just keep doing what you've always been doing and just don't think about it. Even though changing the development method wouldn't really be that big of a deal, I'm sure someone would come along and say, it's only been a month, and you're already veering from Bram's legacy. It's just unnecessary drama. Just don't even change it. You're already used to it, so just keep doing it. With that being said, obviously some changes had to happen. This was done alongside dedicating the 9.1 release to Bram. One of the main things being that being the BDFL of the project, Bram was listed as the maintainer for pretty much everything. This isn't about removing Bram from the project, it's more about updating the references so if someone needs to get in contact with someone, they know who to actually contact. For example, security issues used to go directly to Bram's email address. Now that can't exactly be done, so you can see a list of the current maintainers, and in the future they'll be setting up a new process for handling these issues. Plus, there is a lot of documents that listed Bram as the current active maintainer, so they had to go through all of those and then say, he is now the former maintainer, and the current maintainer is the Vim project. If you want to get in contact with the Vim project, here's how you do so. As I said, there is a lot of places where this had to be done. There are a lot of individual components of Vim, and look, if you find something where it still says Bram is the current active maintainer, please do get in contact with the project. Even if you don't want to go and fix it yourself, just let them know the information is still wrong. I'm sure that is going to be a massive help. This also included updating the license. Previously it said Bram Moolenaar, now it says these people on the Vim GitHub. Now, this is a bit of a problem when it comes to Vim, because Vim isn't using like the GPL license, the MIT license. It has its own internal license, being the Vim license. So if they want to update the Vim license, it also has to be updated on other places as well, those being SPDX and Choose a License. So if they wanted to update the license, it would also need to be updated in the license databases, the main ones being SPDX and Choose a License. There was some concerns about this. I think it will cause some issues if we change the text in Choose a License directly, which will cause the existing repos which use Vim license to become unrecognized. The ideal case is we have a new version of the license, such as Vim License 1.1, then we don't need to worry about the existing repo being affected. But it will also cause another issue. The Choose a License only accepts widely used licenses. Vim License 1.1 will be a new license and is not widely used at the moment, so there'll be a period of time that GitHub won't recognize it. Christian chimed in here. I was a bit hesitant to change the license file directly, but I did not see any alternatives. Surely just changing the maintainer line should be okay since we did not touch the actual license clauses, but if you think of a different solution, please let me know. And after the update, this happened. A quick update. The licensee can recognize the new version of the Vim license text. The similarity is 98.45%. The threshold is 98%. So there is not much space for other differences. I'll spend some time checking out other projects using the Vim license and have the software name correctly modified. Currently, I feel positive about the results. It seems licensee has a better algorithm to compare license text with substitutions than before. If the result is good, we don't need to worry about the existing software in the wild. We just need to discuss how to deal with this case with SPDX, update the license text or create a new version of the license based on the answer of 1, and update the license text on chooselicense.com if necessary. That is good news, thanks. And that's pretty much the end of that. Also, as a side thing, there was an update to the Vim 9 documentation, an obituary for Bram. Vim version 9.1 is dedicated to Bram Moolenaar, who passed away on August 3rd, 2023, while still working full-time on Vim. The Vim project would not exist without his ongoing passion to lead and develop Vim and the community for more than 30 years. Bram was also passionate about his ICCF foundation to help children in Uganda. If you enjoy using Vim, please consider donating. We will miss his guidance, passion, and leadership. And then links to the obituary discussion along with the farewell as well. And if you want to get involved with those, I'll leave those links in the description down below. Since then, up until a couple of weeks ago, everything's just been mostly smooth sailing. Things have been developed, and it's just been good. Then something happened to the website. This is what it looks like right now. It does not have a valid SSL cert. Except, it kinda does. At least it should. So, this started happening on September 10th. It got reported by this person right here. Please do not click on anything in this email that renders as a link. That said, there is nothing to panic about. However, the vim.org certificate appears to be expired as of this date right here. I am posting this to alert the community and those in a position to work on fixing the problem. It is unlikely but possible the certificate is okay, and I am a victim. Hence, do not trust any link in this email, and do not hit your client's replay button. But the problem is that shouldn't have been happening. So all of the SSL stuff was being managed by Bram. And another user chimed in with their experience. This is very odd. Is vim.org served by multiple hosts behind a load balancer? When this was first reported yesterday, I went there and didn't have a problem. I looked at the certificate and it was issued 2023-08-26, valid until 2023-11-24. So at this time, everything was working like it should. When I went there just now, I received a security warning due to an expired certificate. I refreshed the page without accepting the security exception, and I didn't have any trouble, and I got the same new certificate that I saw yesterday. So it seems like on certain loads, it was using a different cert for some reason. And Bram, like most people outside of massive organizations, was using Let's Encrypt. So the update is likely handled automatically. If a load balancer is being used, perhaps the updated certificate is not being propagated to all the hosts. And Christian had an idea about what was happening. It might be caused by OSDN, yet another reason to migrate away. I was gonna say this is OSDN, but I guess that sort of explains why they probably shouldn't be on OSDN. So OSDN is a collaborative development platform, you know, in the same vein as things like GitHub and things like that. And this is where it was being hosted. I'm currently in the process to plan the move. We should have a better hosting provider soon. I've already tested the Vim PHP homepage with PHP 9 and it works. We just need to migrate the database and perform the switch once the server is ready, and need to sync the DNS admins to plan this. I hope to have news on this during the week, and Christian also made a follow-up thread announcing that a migration was actually going to be happening. Dear all, as you may have noticed, we've had some issues with the vim.org homepage and HTTPS access. See also this issue right here. This is the issue that actually reported it on the GitHub. It's actually even getting worse, as there does no longer seem to be any valid SSL certificate available, while previously only 1 out of 2 requests used an old SSL cert. I have no idea what is actually going on, and my request for help to osdn.net and the OS China did not succeed. Considering this is what their website looks like, I wonder why the request didn't actually work. So we'll be moving the Vim homepage again. It depends a bit how fast we can get the infrastructure up and running, and then we need to move the DNS record. I hope it should be doable until the end of the month. Fingers crossed. Right now, they've still got a couple of days. They're very much in the process of getting it done. This all started, like, basically now. Now in the future. Time zones is weird. It's starting very shortly. However, the code is at the same time switched from the current PHP 5 version to a new PHP 8 installation, which required a rewrite of some of the PHP pages and the SQL queries. This is the pinnacle of, if it works, don't touch it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Should it have been using PHP 5? No. But I guarantee there are still scripts out in deployment that are running Python 1 that are just never going to be touched because they work. Also, while Christian is doing great work here, like the rest of Vim, he is not the only person involved. All of these other people are also involved in getting the website back up and running and working like it should be. All of those people absolutely deserve credit as well. And right now, we're pretty much just waiting on this coming back online. And once that happens, everything should just be good then. We don't know where the project is going to be in a year or 2 years from now, but at least in the short-term future, Vim is still going strong, and I wish all of the maintainers and all of the developers the best of luck. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you run Vim? Do you run neovim? Maybe you're an Emacs user and you don't know why you're here. I would love to know. So if you liked the video, go like the video. And if you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe to the LiberaPay link in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and thank God for redundancy.
What is?